I'm going to start invocation prayers before we actually discuss on a little bit about the consciousness we need to prepare for Radhashtami and how Radharani nourishes our Krishna consciousness or our devotion. So that's the two topics we'll mainly deal with today. So, Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shlakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganam Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdetam Prajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padham Saganam Lalitam Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Vaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavane Bheyo Vishnave Bheyo Namo Namo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Mukham Karoti Vachalu Pangum Langayate Giri Yat Kripatam Ham Bande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. After listening to last week's class, by our youth, I do not know, how to speak now, because they have actually set such a high standards. It's now difficult to match those standards. At least come closer to what they have spoken last week. So extremely happy about how they actually did this thing. So I was speaking to the leaders, saying that at least once a month we should be having a class in the temple where youth. Probably one youth and one youth leader can speak on that day, so that we can at least meet physically at least once a month. So the temple president has given his blessings already, so we just need to decide on which week of the month we're going to meet them. So as I mentioned in the beginning, today I'm going to speak about Srimati Radharani, because Radhashtami is coming soon. And I'm going to basically focus on the consciousness which we need to have to approach this festival. At the same time, what role Radharani plays in nourishing our devotion from the teachings of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna Kaviraj Goswami explains 5 principles or 5 things through which Radharani nourishes our devotional service. So this is we are going to discuss today. So I'm going to share a screen now. So are you able to see my screen? And Devi, I'm going to make Vamshi Prabhu the co-host so that. Okay. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Great. So the topic is developing the right consciousness to understand the mercy of Radharani and approaching this Radhashtami festival. So as you know, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had taken sannyas and had gone to South India Yatra. As he was doing the South India tour, he spent some time in the house of Raghunath Bhatta Goswami with his father Venkata Bhatta Goswami, or Venkata Bhatta, not Goswami. So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was spending time and discussing on various topics, he would also sometimes joke with Venkata Bhatta. As you all know, Venkata Bhatta was a devotee from Sri Sampradaya, and for him the worshipable deity was Lakshmi Narayan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would one day he was asking that, "Oh Venkata, you are a devotee of Lakshmi Narayan. You are worshipable Lakshmi Takurani or Tayar, as it is actually famously said in Tamil Nadu. Why did Lakshmi was not enter in Ras Leela?" This was a question which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking Venkata Bhatta, actually joking with Venkata Bhatta. I know none of you find that as a joke here now, correct? When I said that the same joke which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, and Krishna Kaviraj Goswami is saying that they are joking about this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking, why is not Lakshmi Takurani not being able to enter the Ras Leela? So this is the reply. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking this question. Shruti paya Lakshmi na paya ita ki karan. So Bhatta is saying, Bhatta is saying, Bhatta kahe iha praveshite nara moraman. So I wanted to establish first, before we speak anything on Radharani, that how disqualified, how we have no qualification to discuss anything about Radharani. So that I thought first we will discuss about that before we actually touch upon anything about Radharani. And if you see today's message also, where His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj has actually, has shown his displeasure on arranging classes on Radharani's qualities, So it's very clear that we have no qualification to discuss anything about Srimati Radharani. And I wanted to actually take Shastic references from where we understand that how disqualified we are. So this is the topic which which is the question which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. Shruti paya. Shruti means what here? Shruti means what? Anybody wants to say try? Shruti paya means Shruti is actually able to participate in Ras Leela. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. Who is Shruti? Anybody knows who is Shruti? Anybody wants to try? No one? Or you cannot unmute? Prabhu, give an opportunity to unmute everyone.
Just a second.
Yeah. So who is Shruti? Anybody wants to try?
The Vedas?
Yeah, Vedas, scriptures. So it's a scriptures. So the Vedic scriptures, even the scriptures can get entry into Ras Leela, but Lakshmi can't. So this is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is joking with me. And he says, Bhatta kahe iva praveshite nare mora man. He is saying, I cannot enter into the mysteries of behavior. And in the next shloka, he is explaining why he cannot enter. What is the reason why he cannot enter into this? And from this shloka, we should be able to also understand that what is our disqualification. Okay. So what is he saying? This is Venkata Bhatta's reply. Again, Ami Jiva. What is the first disqualification? He says, Ami Jiva. Jiva means we are Jiva Tattvas. What is the size of the soul? What is the size of the soul? Anybody? Nobody knows size of the soul also?
Tip of the hair cut into 1,000 pieces.
1,000.
1/10,000 tip of the hair.
Yeah, 1/10,000 tip of the hair. That is the size of the soul. That's how insignificant we are. When people talk about Bahrain, we'll say, you look at the map, Bahrain is a dot. We ourselves think as we are so great, we are so wonderful, we are the controller. We are as insignificant as 1/10,000 tip of the hair in terms of size. And we have many other disqualifications. So the first disqualification, he says, Ami Jiva. We are Jiva Tattvas. Ami Jiva. We are insignificant. So So our Gaur Gopal Prabhu says one poem, I am an insignificant soul. I know what is the goal. I am an insignificant soul. I know not what is the goal. So I do not know what is the goal. In ignorance, I always roll. In ignorance, I always roll. That is why life is the greatest jhol. Gaur Gopal Prabhu says in his classes. So this is how it is correct, because we are completely insignificant, because we are what do you call in terms of in terms of Vibhu and Anu, we understand that we are actually completely small, dependent jiva, who is completely dependent on Krishna and his energies. So we are insignificant. So this is what Venkat Bhatta says. Ami jiva shudra buddhi. Shudra buddhi. Shudra means what? Shudra buddhi means limited intelligence. We possess limited intelligence. Our intelligence cannot even understand what is happening around the world, around us. We cannot understand even Maya Leela. What we talk about Krishna Leela and Radha Krishna Leela. Forget about that. We do not understand even Maya Leela. One time also, even in academic things which we will not understand, like even 10th standard students, 12th standard students, they ask about Rigo, who are not good in math. They say, Prabhu, it's very difficult. Rigo, I cannot, something is impossible for us to do. So they are not even able to understand with this Shudra intelligence, even basic academic things we are not unable to understand. And we are trying to understand something which is, Krishna Leela, Radha Krishna Leela. Gauram Prabhu was saying in one time in the class that when Varahadev came, each pores of Varahadev was as big, each pore, like the pore we have on the skin. So each pore is as big as 10,000 samudras, oceans can fill in that pore. And the same Varaha, when came as Krishna, who is the source? Varaha's source is Krishna. And when he came here in Dwapar Yuga, Yashoda Mai took one bucket and actually took bathed Krishna. So from a normal intelligence to understand how big was Varaha and how small is Krishna, who is the source, it was not possible to understand. Correct? It's impossible to understand because we have limited intelligence. We have very narrow thinking. We are thinking that is the depth of I'm trying to understand Krishna Leela. So Venkata Bhatta is saying, I'm an ordinary human being. Since my intelligence is very limited and I'm easily agitated, my mind cannot enter within the deep ocean of the pastimes of the Lord. So this is what Venkat Bhatta is saying. What about us? Venkata Bhatta, who was actually discussing things with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly, who had a direct audience of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is talking about his disqualification. Who are we, in this Kali Yuga? What is our qualification to discuss about all these things about Ishvara Krishna? So it's very impossible, actually. So we say that Sahaja Astir, easily agitated, Shudra Buddhi, so easily agitated. So Prabhupada was telling that a person needs three things generally. He needs appreciation, he needs accomplishment, and he needs accumulation. If these three things are not there, then one can become easily agitated in their life. So these are our disqualifications. We are not qualified to actually understand Radha Krishna Leela. We are not at all able to understand. And if you look at what happened, post and during the British Raj, there are some of the Indologists like Muller, who came to try to understand Srimad Bhagavatam and the Vaishnava philosophy. What was their conclusion after reading the 10th canto? They said that Vaishnavas are all going to hell. After they actually read the 10th canto, especially the 5 chapters on Ras Leela, Rasapancha Adhyaya, when they read, they said all Vaishnavas are going to hell. That was their conclusion. Because it is very difficult to understand. It is very difficult to understand the pastimes. Even Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who gave us the blueprint of preaching, who is not different from Kamala Manjari, who is actually a pioneer of re-establishing Krishna consciousness after Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He is saying, after reading Rasapancha Adhyaya, that I am confused. He writes that I was confused after reading the 5 chapters of Ras Leela. So who are we to actually discuss? Who are we to actually even think about, trying to understand that? When himself, Bhakti Vinod Thakur himself is saying that. And that then Bhakti Vinod Thakur writes that when I read the Chaitanya Charitamrita written by Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj, I somehow was able to understand. When I understood the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I understood the essence of Ras Leela. So it is utterly impossible for us, because the conclusion we would actually arrive is like something like Muller, what he tried to arrive. So we do not have the requisite qualification, and if you artificially try to jump into this ocean, this deep ocean, what will happen? Our desires, which are not purified right now, those desires are like sharks and whales. It will eat us up. Our bhakti will go away. So we should actually not try to understand these leelas. So that is why I was not surprised when I saw that message from His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj today. Or even if you see total lectures given on Radhashtami by Srila Prabhupada has been only 5 lectures. From 1966 to 1977, only 5 lectures Srila Prabhupada spoke on Radhashtami. And in all the 5 lectures, if you read, or if you actually, I was reading the lectures, and you see Srila Prabhupada is only touching the surface, and generally he's talking about simple philosophy. In every lecture, he quoted this verse, Dehinosmin yata dehe kavamaram yovanam jara. He quoted this verse because we are not qualified today to understand this. And something which I was reading very interesting was about Srila Prabhupada in 1969, when he was not feeling well in Boston. Was there, and he was actually recovering from his heart stroke there. At that time, there was three devotees of Srila Prabhupada. His Holiness Satsvarup Maharaj, Hayagiva Prabhu, and His Holiness Jai Advaita Maharaj. They were the BTG team, and they went and met Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada gave a very important instruction for all of us. Srila Prabhupada said there that there are 4 steps. Srila Prabhupada instructed to them that there are 4 steps, in which a devotee, when he comes to ISKCON, should progress. These are steps through which he should progress. Srila Prabhupada is telling to these 3 devotees. And what are those steps? He said the first step is awaken. Jeev Jago. One should awaken. Second step, he says, then you should train that devotee. First of all, you should awaken a jiva. Try to make him understand what is the real purpose of life. Once he understands, we need to train him. Once he gets trained, we need to make him understand the philosophy properly, and then only he can absorb. So if you look at what is awaken means what? Actually giving them sambandha gyan. Then train means abhideya, how to act on it, and prayojan, to understand it and absorb, and practically absorb it. That is what is prayojana. Prabhupada actually gave these 4 things. And if you see, Prabhupada said in Back to God, its role should be the only first 2 parts: awaken and train. Understanding and absorbing should not be done by Back to God magazine. So we have to understand that Srila Prabhupada was very clear from day 1 that what and how should be approached these leelas. So training in Vaishnava life is very, very important once we come in, because just trying to actually awaken, we all know what is right, correct? But unless we are trained, unless we follow a process, unless we do sadhana, there is no way we can understand these leelas and we can get absorbed in these leelas. Now, so the first point that which I wanted to make today was this point, that our qualification if your Venkat Bhatta is saying that, what is our qualification to understand these Leelas? Second, I would like to briefly touch upon, at a very high level, is to understand who is Srimati Radharani. I'm going to take one verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita and actually try to understand who is Radharani. So who is Srimati Radharani? Radhe Krishna Ek Atma. They are one. Duhi Dehadari. They have actually taken Duhi Dehadari. They have taken two bodies, but they are one. They are not different. Radha and Krishna are one and the same, but they have assumed two bodies. Thus they enjoy each other, tasting the mellows of life. So one would ask, why Krishna had to expand himself to Radharani? Correct? Why Krishna need to expand? So one thing we have to understand is that Krishna is Atmaram. We have all understood this, that Krishna is Atmaram. Krishna does not need anything from outside to satisfy himself. He is fully satisfied. He's not like us. We need so many things, right? We need Netflix, Amazon Prime to satisfy ourselves, right? But they do not need all this. Krishna is fully Atmaram. He is fully satisfied actually within himself. He does not need anything extra from outside to get fulfillment or good satisfaction. He is Atmaram. Then if he is Atmaram, then why does he need to actually expand himself? Why does he need to actually do hi dehadhari? Why does he need to have that too? So we have to understand this. If you have to understand this point, we have to understand one is from the perspective of Siddhanta, which is philosophy, and the perspective of Leela. Okay, perspective of Leela. So from a Siddhanta point of view, it is right. He is Atmaram. He does not need to expand. He does not need anything. But from the Leela point of view, he is a person. Correct? He is a person, and he want to reciprocate. For example, today, if I am giving class and nobody is actually joined on the Zoom, if I'm speaking alone to myself, Srila Prabhupada said, you all are audience here. So that is giving me encouragement. I am able to reciprocate with you. Similarly, Krishna is a person and he wanted to reciprocate. So from the point of view of Leela, it was very important for him to expand himself as Radharani. So Krishna and Radha are the same. So he does not. So who is Srimati Radharani? She is the feminine expansion of Krishna. Krishna in the female form is Radharani. So if you see Bible today, there is a lot of debate happening because in Bible everywhere it is written he. So they are saying, what happens if I write she? Like everywhere he said. God is actually represented in the Bible as a what we call male. So everywhere it is he, his, all these words are used. So now they are studying how we can actually change it. They want to see if we can say it rather than he and she, so that it becomes neutral. So the God is not either a man or a woman. So that is the study which is going on. If you read, there's so many things which are happening on that aspect, where so-called Indologists are actually thinking and saying what we need to do. So from a female, so Krishna here, we have a female Krishna also here, because Krishna is expanding here. From a female counterpart of God is none other than Srimati Radharani. So who is Srimati Radharani? Non-different from Krishna. She is actually what? The feminine expansion of Krishna. We need to understand only this much. We don't need to dwell anything more detail here. Okay. As I said, I'm going to keep myself at a very, a high level. Now, what is the greatness of Srimati Radharani? Okay. So, greatness of Srimati Radharani, can be understood. Okay. Because Radharani is the personification of prema or personification of love. And she has the power to control Krishna. Okay, listen carefully. She has the power to control Krishna by love. Again, we are contradicting ourselves, because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, which means he is the supreme controller. Yes, he is the supreme controller. And now we are telling that Srimati Radharani is controlling Krishna. Again, we have to look from the perspective of Siddhanta and from the perspective of Leela. In perspective of Siddhanta, Krishna is the supreme controller. Krishna is greater than Radha. But from perspective of Leela, if you see, Krishna becomes controlled by Radharani. So Radharani is superior than Krishna. That's why Krishna says that his devotees are greater than himself. So this is why Radharani is superior. And what is the benefit for us, of having Krishna expanding himself as Radharani? What is the benefit for us as Jivas? Because Krishna is expanding as Radharani, he is reciprocating with Radharani, Radharani is reciprocating with his love, they are having a loving affair, all this is happening. So as a Jiva, what is the benefit for us? Because we are always about this, right? What is our benefit? We always think about only that's right. What is our benefit? And there is a great benefit we have to understand. Because Krishna has expanded as Radharani, there is a great benefit. Because when Krishna expanded as Radharani and Radharani reciprocates with Krishna's love, Krishna, even though he is the controller, even though he is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is not able to understand three things. What is not able to understand? Krishna is not able to understand first, nature of Radharani's love. Second, what is the bliss that Radharani feels? And third, what is the ecstasy that Radharani feels? So these are three things which Krishna is not able to understand. Since Krishna is not able to understand these three things, now that is why, from a Siddhanta point of view, he should be able to understand. He is the knower of everything. Vedeshta sarva amayeva vedyo. He knows everything. He is the most knowledgeable. But from a Leela perspective, Krishna is not able to understand why. Radharani, what sweetness I have in that Radharani is able to enjoy, I am not able to enjoy. Okay, so Krishna is saying that so to understand this a little bit better, now we have to understand that from the point of view of Sant Tukaram. Sant Tukaram actually explains this point. He says in one of the abhangs that how the honeybee is able to taste the nectar of lotus. And lotus has the nectar, but he is not able to taste it. Only honeybee can taste the nectar. Similarly, Krishna's sweetness. Krishna is sweet, but only Radharani can enjoy the sweetness of Krishna. Krishna is not able to enjoy the sweetness. And another example Prabhupada gives is about a calf enjoying the milk of the cow. Calf is able to enjoy the milk of cow, but the cow is unable to enjoy the milk of calf. He is not ever able to taste. The cow is never able to taste the cow. So that is why Krishna actually takes the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where he takes what? The bhava of Radharani. He takes the mood of Radharani and he appears in this world. And what happens when Radharani comes as Krishna? There is a big change which happens. Where there is a big change, there is a big transformation. What is the transformation which is happening? The transformation is that a god of law becomes god of love. Krishna is what? He is basically law, god of love. So what he says? He says, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva vapibhyo. Please surrender unto me. Then I will remove. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he does not say that. He actually opens the storehouse of Krishna Prem to everyone. He does not see the qualification. Patra apatra na dekhi. He does not see our qualification. He just wants to give Krishna's love to everyone. So the greatness of Srimati Radharani is that he transformed the god of law into god of love. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is what? Namo Mahavadanyaya. He is Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate. He is able to offer Krishna Prema. Why is that? Single most reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is able to do that is Radharani. That is the greatness of Srimati Radharani. Now we have to also understand Radharani is so great. So who worships Radharani? So I would need some interaction here. I want to understand, from you. First is a person is ready to change his species. A person is ready to change his species and who wants to become actually, to worship Radharani. Who is that? Anybody can try? Who is there who is ready to change the species to worship Radharani, to serve Radharani, to be in that mood of Radharani? Understand the mood of Radharani. Who is that? Changing the species. Anybody wants to try?
Krishna, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
No. Example is Uddhava. Uddhava to Krishna that I would like to become a grass in Vrindavan. Grass in Vrindavan. Why? So that if I become a grass in Vrindavan, what will I do? I will be able to understand, I will be able to serve Krishna in the mood of gopis. I want to understand when he saw gopis love for Krishna. That's when he desired that let me become a grass in Vrindavan. Because and the topmost gopi is who? Radharani. So that is how that is we understand that that great friend of Krishna, great devotee of Krishna, Uddhava wanted to become a grass in Vrindavan. Somebody is ready to change sex to actually serve Radharani. Who is that? There are two personalities, not one, two. Who is it? Anybody wants to try? Nobody knows? Who is ready to serve Radharani? So I'll give one more hint. Because they come actually take part in Ras Leela and serve Radharani or take part in that Ras Leela by actually assisting Radharani in Ras Leela.
Was
Or those personalities?
Shiva and Arjuna? Hello.
I'm not able to hear actually. Sorry. Hello. Yeah.
Ashtasakis?
Shiva and Arjuna.
You can type better.
Okay, he can't hear.
Ashtasakis?
No, they're changing into man. They're changing into male form to serve Radharani, Ashtasakis. Okay, I'm going to tell. One is Lord Shiva and another is Narada. Okay, Lord Shiva actually, comes assistance to assist Radharani. Actually, he takes a dip in Mansi Ganga and transforms himself into a gopi, and then he serves Radharani. He or she assists Radharani in serving Krishna. Second is Narada Muni. He comes to Kusum Sarovar. He takes a dip in Kusum Sarovar and he becomes a Naradiya gopi, and then he serves Krishna there. Okay, the last one. Changing life into matter. Somebody is ready to actually become a matter. From his life, he wants to become a non-living entity to serve Radharani. And he goes actually to Brajdam and he becomes, a matter. Who is that? Anybody? Okay, I'll tell you that he actually becomes a stone or he becomes, a mountain in Barsana. Anybody wants to try? I think. How many of you have visited Barsana? Vrindavan? Yeah. Vamshi Prabhu is sending direct message to me, right answer. So there is actually, Brahma. Lord Brahma is becoming 4 hills in Barsana. If you see, Dangad, Mangad, there are 4 hills in Barsana. Those 4 hills are who? There's 4 hills, Brahma has 4 heads. They become just to serve Radharani. So it's very important to understand that how all these great personalities are actually there to serve Radharani. So this you can understand who is Radharani. He's not actually not ordinary, a devotee as such. So this is the greatness of Radharani. Now, this is the point which I want to discuss today. Is what is Srimati Radharani's role? What is Srimati Radharani's role? Ladini karaya Krishna Ananda Swadhana Ladini dwara kare Bhaktera Poshana. So Ladini, which is Krishna, which is Radharani, which is not different from Radharani. The Krishna's energy, Ladini is Radharani. She has 2 functions. She does 2 things. One is what? Gives Krishna the pleasure. First role is what? Ananda Aswadhan. He gives Krishna Ananda Aswadhan. And second thing what she does is Bhaktera Poshana. That is what we are interested in. What kind of portion? Portion means nourishment she gives to us. That is the most important for us because we are all about, what is in it for us. Correct? So Bhaktera Poshana, that is very important. So Ladini Karaye Krishna Ananda Aswadhan. The second part is Kare Bhaktera Poshana. So these are the 2 things which she does. So in the 1973 lecture, when Srila Prabhupada spoke on the Radhashtami lecture, he said that, one-line definition of Krishna conscious movement. He said one-line definition of Krishna conscious movement or 2-word definition of Krishna conscious movement is what? He said Hari Toshanam. Hari Toshanam is the definition of ISKCON, he said. Hari Toshanam, doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna. And she said that Hari Toshanam is done by Ladini Shakti. Hari Toshanam is done by Ladini Shakti, and that should be the consciousness of our movement. Krishna consciousness means what? Hari Toshanam. How to give pleasure to Krishna. That should be our for entire focus. But for us, our approach to God, the way we approach God is what? Swayam Toshanam. How can we get pleasure? We go and actually ask things from Krishna. Give me good marks, give me good life, give me this boyfriend, give me this girlfriend, give me this, give me that, give me, all the things, give me mobile phones, give me tabs, give me laptops, whatever. So we are continuously asking material things. If we are not asking material things, still we are asking things, we are asking spiritual things, saying our own spiritual development, we are asking all the time. So our consciousness is what? To take. And Radharani's consciousness is what? Give everything for Krishna's pleasure. That's what Radharani is all about. So one time, Satsvarup Maharaj wrote a poem to Srila Prabhupada. In that poem, he wrote like this. He wrote that your devotee is calling sadly. What is he saying? Your devotee is calling sadly. Your devotee is falling badly. Devotee is calling sadly. Devotee is falling badly. Oh Srimati Radharani, please take pity. Oh Srimati Radharani, please take pity, as I am trapped in the city of these 9 gates. I am trapped in the city of 9 gates. So this was a letter which was actually sent to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada actually reads the letter and he writes a reply correcting the poem, correcting this poem. What is wrong in this poem? Srila Prabhupada says that Srila Prabhupada says that what is the wrong? He says that how can we say ourselves a devotee? How can we call ourselves a devotee? Because Radharani is a devotee. So we cannot call ourselves devotee. So he writes in that letter, what best we can call ourselves is that we are servant. We are servant of a devotee, or we are servants. That's it. So he said that your poem is very good, but you should say that you should change the word devotee to servant. Should say your servant is calling sadly, your servant is falling badly, rather than saying your devotee, because Srimati Radharani is devotee. So this is what we understand. That is why Srila Prabhupada in that letter also wrote, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitamam Vishwam Bhavam Buddho. So he wrote that verse also. And then we will understand Krishna Ananda Aswadhan. How does she do that? Everything she does is for Krishna Aswadhan. For example, she cooks. She cooks for Krishna. She cooks for Krishna. And she cooks actually every day. She does not repeat her recipes because she has got special blessings from Durvasa Muni. So she never repeats her recipes. So she cooks every time there's a new dish which she is cooking for Krishna. So Durvasa, because of Durvasa Muni's blessing, she never repeats any recipe twice. And Srila Prabhupada says that, why does Krishna does not leave Radharani? Why does not Krishna leave? Because she's such a good cook. And she tells that when you become a wife, you should learn how to cook nicely. Because if you cook nicely and make nice things for your husband, then your husband will never leave from you. So this is what Srila Prabhupada says, not me saying this. So Prabhupada says that Durvasa Muni is actually has blessed Radharani, and Radharani takes special care to cook for Krishna. So one time what happened was Srila Prabhupada was in Manor, and in Manor there was Revati Nandan Swami who was there, and when Srila Prabhupada came there, he was actually in the kitchen all the time serving. So one day Srila Prabhupada enters the kitchen and he sees Revati Nandan Swami there. And as soon as he sees Srila Prabhupada, he pays obeisances. And Srila Prabhupada asks, how are you doing? So he says that, you have given me this name, Revati Nandan, but I have become now a kitchen Swami. All the time I am in the kitchen, cooking all the time. So I'm not able to preach nothing. I'm just cooking. So Srila Prabhupada immediately said, no, you cannot be a kitchen Swami. Because there is only one Swamini of kitchen. That is Radharani. So you cannot be a kitchen. So similarly, there was one time Shankar Prabhu. Shankar Prabhu was an amazing cook. So he was in Juhu, and there was an appearance day of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So on that day, they were planning to offer 108 items to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Shankar Prabhu, being a great cook, he cooked 98 items out of the 108 which was cooked. And Srila Prabhupada, after the offering, she said that I want to taste everything. So His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was there at that time. So he thought that, Srila Prabhupada may ask, what is this? What is that? So it is better that we call Shankar Prabhu also. And Prabhupada is taking or tasting that Mahaprasadam. So as Prabhupada was tasting everything, Shankar Prabhu was saying that I cooked this, I put this ingredient, this is how it is made, this is how it is done. So each item, Shankar Prabhu was explaining. And Srila Prabhupada was quietly listening and actually tasting everything. After Srila Prabhupada tasted all the 108 items, he looked at Shankar Prabhu and he told that it's not you who have cooked all this. It is Srimati Radharani. So Shankar Prabhu writes, that it was like, a jolt on his heart, because he was so proud that he cooked 98. When Prabhupada said this, he immediately understood his position, how Srimati Radharani is cooking everything. So she cooks, she dances in such a way only to give pleasure to Krishna. And she dresses in such a way only to give pleasure to Krishna. We also dress, but we also dress, our reasons are there, right? We want ourselves to look better, but Radharani wants to look better only for Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada writes in one of the purports that if you are actually, dressing the deities and making Krishna and Radha beautiful in the altar, automatically this desire or this thing of dressing yourself to look better will slowly and steadily will go away, will slowly and steadily go away. So Radharani will do everything only for the pleasure of Krishna. She dances, she dresses herself, she cooks, anything is for what? Krishna Ananda Aswadhana. So Prabhupada says everything. So one time Jadurani Mataji, she actually painted, she's a great artist, So she was in Holland, she saw a Dutch boy and girl, and she looked at a Dutch boy and girl and she painted Krishna in a Dutch form and Radharani also in a Dutch form. But when Prabhupada looked at that picture, Krishna was looking a little morose or despondent. He had a despondent face on that. So Prabhupada asked Jadurani Mataji, why is that, is Krishna looking so sad? Krishna should not look sad when Radharani is around. Then, when this was told, immediately he felt a little bit bad. Jadurani felt like, Jadurani Mataji felt a little sad about it. Then Prabhupada understood that Jadurani Mataji is a little sad. So she said, no, we can actually connect one Leela to this. And he said that, this Leela about Krishna getting headache. So this Leela is where Krishna is getting headache and Radharani is bringing the lotus dust of the lotus feet of gopis and herself to apply on Krishna's Mata. That is why Krishna is little despondent. So Prabhupada says that Radharani and Krishna is ready to go to hell. So Radharani and gopis are ready to go to hell to give pleasure to Krishna. So that is Krishna Ananda Aswadhana. She is ready for doing everything. So now it comes the important point of our class, which is Bhaktera Poshana. So what does Radharani does? What does Radharani do to actually, nourish us? What are the things that Radharani does? So Kaviraj Goswami actually says Radharani nourishes the devotee in 5 ways. The first thing she does is what? She gives protection. Okay, everybody knows this Leela about this jackal, who actually fell in a pit near Radhakund. And all the children around, they were actually putting all dry grass and everything around, and they were able to actually lit that grass so that, kill that jackal. Jackal was trying very hard to get out of that. He was unable to get out of that pit. And Lalita saw that. Lalita saw that jackal and she actually became merciful and she saved that jackal and brought to Radharani. And Radharani placed her lotus feet on the head of the jackal. And the jackal got liberated that time. So the first point is from this example, beautiful example, we understand how Radharani is protecting us. Acharya has explained the example. Acharya says that pit in which the jackal fell, that is like this material world. And this conditioned soul, we jivas are like that jackal. We jivas are like that jackal. And we have all fallen into this material world, onto this pit, and we have no hope to get out of this pit. We have no hope. Like that jackal was trying desperately to get out. We are not even trying desperately, but that jackal was trying desperately to get out. He could not get out. And at that time, Lalita came, who is the representative of our spiritual master. She came and takes the jackal out. And she, our spiritual master will take us out from this Bhausagar. And what were the children doing? The children were representing Maya Devi. Samsara Dava Nalalita Loka. They were putting grass around and burning it. Like a forest fire of this material world. They were burning that. And in the form of Gurudev, in the form of representing Guru, Lalita came. Lalita is our Guru, who picks us from that pit and takes us where? Takes us to Radharani and recommends us to Radharani. So this is the most beautiful thing about Radharani. Radharani is giving us protection, like Gurudev, offering the disciple to Srimati Radharani. That was the example. That is how we can understand this Leela about this jackal. Second thing is recommendation. So in one of the temples, what happened was, they were cooking rabdi for Krishna. As they were cooking rabdi for Krishna, instead of putting sugar, they put citric acid into that. Because both looks white and they were next to each other. And by mistake, Mataji, instead of sugar, they put citric acid. And rabdi, it's already, the doodh fata hua hai. So it will not actually, it will not actually have anything. So they will not be able to understand. So she cooked and she offered it. And when it came as Mahaprasad, and when people started tasting, that's when they understood that it was actually not sugar. It was this, what do you call it? Citric acid, which they had put. So at that time, Jananivas Prabhu actually explains that do not worry, because we were thinking, if Krishna was God of law, if Isa said, because of Radharani he has become God of love. If Krishna says, ye yatamam prapadyante, you have offered me, khatta, you have offered me a khatta rabdi, I'm not going to make your life also khatta. If Krishna is going to think like that, if Krishna reciprocates, ye yatamam prapadyante, you offered something khatta, so let me make your life also khatta. He does not actually reciprocate like that. Why he does not reciprocate like that? Because Radharani is there. Radharani corrects that mistake and then makes it very palatable, makes it very nice before actually offering it to Krishna. So that's why when we offer anything to the Lord, how do we offer? We actually first approach our Gurudev, saying that I am not qualified to actually cook this. I am not qualified to offer this. I have no purity. I have done a lot of mistakes, but I am offering this. Oh Gurudev. Then Gurudev offers it to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada offers it to Guru Parampara. Guru Parampara offers it to Shad Goswami. Shad Goswami offers it to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offers it to Radharani. And Radharani then offers it to Krishna. This is how the chain goes. Our connection is only with our Gurudev and Prabhupada. So we just offer it to them. And from them, it goes on with it. So Radharani is at the last checkpoint before it is offered to Krishna. And she makes everything correct before it is being offered to Krishna. So she is the one who actually recommends us, who says, and then after she offers and Krishna likes it, what rabri it was. And Radharani says, that Mataji, she made it. She does not say that she actually put, citric acid and I corrected it. Normally what we do, if we do something, some devotee has done wrong, we would immediately tell, oh Prabhu, this, complete mistake. I actually came and, corrected it last minute. Everything was done properly. Because of me, things changed. But Radharani is not like that. Radharani even doesn't tell Krishna that she was the reason for correcting it. She just offers it to Krishna. This is what Jananivas Prabhu says. So Srila Prabhupada, so this is how the recommendation and corrections what Radharani does for us. One time Jananivas Mataji was actually making another picture, and she made a picture where Radharani is holding a garland and she's looking at some place and Krishna is there. So as soon as Srila Prabhupada saw that, so Srila Prabhupada asked Jadurani Mataji, does she have another boyfriend? Why is she looking that side? This is the immediate reaction Srila Prabhupada had, and Jadurani Mataji got very upset with that, and she was actually, she actually became very sad. And then Krishna, Srila Prabhupada saw that, and Srila Prabhupada said, don't worry, Jadurani. I know what is she looking at. What? So that she's looking for Jadurani. Where is Jadurani? Come Jadurani, so that I can give you this garland, so you can offer it to Krishna. And she says, this is Radharani. This is Radharani. Radharani always wants to push others to serve Krishna. She looks who is the best, and then she takes and serves Krishna. So this is the second point. Radharani is actually always recommending us, correcting our faults, making our shortcomings disappear when she offers our prayers, our heart to Krishna. Third point is instruction. Radharani gives instruction through her life lessons. She gives us the first instruction. There are multiple lesson instructions she has given, but I will speak on one life lesson only. When she was born, she actually acted as dumb and deaf till Krishna came and touched her. Right? Everybody knows this story. That Radharani was acting as dumb and deaf till Krishna came to her house and touched her. That's when she opened her eyes, beautiful eyes, lotus eyes, and she actually started hearing. So, an important instruction. If you look at second canto, it is said that eyes is complete waste. Eyes is like, they say that it is like the plumes of the peacock feather. The peacock feather, there's plumes. Eye is like plumes of no use if it is not used to serve Krishna, if it is not used to see Krishna. And he says the tongue is like the frog's tongue. Because it actually, the frog's tongue, what does it do? It makes noise and attracts actually a snake, so that a snake will devour him. So if the tongue is not used for Krishna, then that tongue is like frog snake. And he says the ears are not used to hear about Krishna, then that ears are like snake holes. Snakes don't make holes. They go and live in some, the holes which others make, right? The rats or everybody makes. And so as you enter the hole, they actually devour you. So Radharani is giving us an instruction here that our eyes, our ears, our tongue, which should be used only for what? For Krishna's service. So this is very important to understand. And there was a Nectar of Devotion book which came out in German edition, and in the front page of that book was where Radharani is pushing another gopi to actually serve Krishna. That is a picture. And when that came out, and when Srila Prabhupada saw the cover page, he became so extremely happy. And he said at that time, they made this statement that this is Srimati Radharani. This is her mood. She pushes everyone to actually serve Krishna. So this is the third lesson that for us, nourishment is instruction. Fourth point is inspiration. Radharani gives us inspiration. If whatever devotional inspiration we have to do devotional service, whatever small bhakti or devotional service we are doing today, whatever small thing which we are doing today, we have to understand. Srila Prabhupada says that is only because of the inspiration of Radharani. Without her inspiration, we cannot do any bhakti. There's no chance of doing any bhakti. Last is salvation. Without Radharani's mercy, there is no way we can actually think about going back to Godhead. Because she is the one who is ready to forget and forgive all the mistakes we are doing, and always recommending us. One time Gurudas Prabhu, Yamuna Mataji's husband, he was in Vrindavan, and you know the story of the Vrindavan temple construction, how delayed it was. And Srila Prabhupada was very surprised and upset at one point in time. So he said that, Srila Prabhupada, I actually did an offense. I will even Krishna will not forgive you. So Srila Prabhupada replied to him that Krishna may not forgive you, but I will forgive you. Then after some time, he told Gurudas that even I may not forgive you sometimes, but Srimati Radharani will forgive you for sure. So this is our hope, that Radharani will forgive us. So Radhastami is in 3 days' time on Tuesday, very, very auspicious day. So what prayer should we offer? We don't have to manufacture prayers, right? Srila Prabhupada said that our prayer should be simple. Our prayer should be what? Our prayer should be, we should go with some offering, a flower or something. And we should go in front of Krishna and Radharani, and we should actually offer this flower to Radharani, and you should say, "Oh Srimati Radhe, Krishna is yours. So please offer this flower on my behalf." And then after some time you should say, "Oh Srimati Radharani, Krishna is yours. So please offer, offer me, myself, to Krishna." This is what Srila Prabhupada said. So Radhanath Maharaj was saying in one of the classes I was hearing, he was saying, "Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagat isha kamaye." This is the prayer we should go and say to Srimati Radharani on Tuesday. We should say, "I do not want dhanam, I do not want sundarim, I do not want jam. The only thing I want is what? Ahituki bhakti. I need your bhakti. That's the only thing. Radharani, I want Krishna's bhakti, so please recommend me." This is the prayer we should say. And he was saying that if you want material things, dhanam, janam, bhakti, all these things, then you should go to Durga Devi. You should not go to Radharani. Radharani, you should go to only ask for bhakti. So this is what he was saying. And he was saying, if it is difficult even to say the first 3 lines, Janam, Sundari, so at least say the second line, saying that, please, Ahutuki bhakti, please offer me that. If it is difficult sometimes, to say that, na dhanam, na janam, na sundari. So say the second line at least, and tell Radharani that I want to become your servant. So this is the prayer, this is the mood with which we should approach Radharani. So thank you very much. This is what I wanted to share today. I took a little bit more time than usual, actually a little more. way more than usual. So anybody has any questions, any comments, more than happy. So Prabhuji is here.
It was a detailed class. But you enlightened us with the correct mood that, Srila Prabhupada used to always say that, even we are not supposed to talk much about Radharani in terms of her Leela. So it has become very clear now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. So I just wanted to actually prepare our mood. What should be our mood and what should we do actually? So this is why I thought I will just speak on what nourishment we can get from Radharani and what should be our prayer to Radharani. So thank you very much. I hope that the very important day in our Gaudiya Vaishnava calendar is on Tuesday. So let us all try to actually, because this opportunity is there and we have to understand we are like that jackal, in that pit. We are already in that pit. And somehow Gurudev has come in our life. He was removing us and he was recommending us to Radharani. So let us actually use this opportunity. Radharani is most merciful. And on her birthday, she's more merciful. So let us all offer, to our actually heart to Radharani on that day, and tell her that that what I want is somehow or other I can actually progress in my devotion. I can actually serve Krishna. I can develop my bhakti. Somehow or other, and life after life I can remain the servant of Krishna and assist my Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in their mission. This should be our prayer. Hare Krishna. Anybody else has any questions? No, so we can go for the next program. Deva?
Yes, Prabhuji. I think nobody has any questions, so we can ask Mataji to sing now.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Since nobody has a question, can I ask a question?
Yes, Prabhuji, I will try my best.
So we always say, ISKCON devotees always say Hare Krishna. But there are instances in which we see devotees also sometimes say Radhe Radhe. So is it okay that we say Radhe Radhe or we should say Hare Krishna? Because, we have restrictions in understanding Radha Tattva.
So Prabhu, I am not sure about this. I'll tell you only one thing which I heard in one of the classes of Radhanath Maharaj. He said that, when we say Jai Radhe, that also Maharaj is saying that only on Radhashtami day we have the permission to say. We should not say on any other days. So according to my understanding is that we should just say Hare Krishna. We should not say Radhe Radhe. Basically, that is my understanding, but based on what I heard from Radhanath Maharaj. But I see senior devotees also saying the same thing. So I'm not going to actually comment what is right or wrong, but I'm just going to tell that what I heard from Radhanath Maharaj is that we should not take exclusive name of Radharani because she is so close to Krishna. Krishna will not like it. So you just say only on Radhashtami, on her birthday, we can glorify directly by taking all the names. Otherwise, always Radha's name should be connected with Krishna. So we say, Jai Radha Bharanishwar, Jai Radha Gopinath, Jai Radha Shamsundar, Jai Radha Madhav, like that. We do not take her name alone anytime. So that is what Maharaj was telling us in one of the classes, which I heard. So I generally do not say that. I do not say Radhe Radhe or anything. And because of this instruction from Radhanath Maharaj. So I'm just going to say that. Nothing more to add on this.
Thank you so much.
So Divya is saying, but in Vrindavan, mostly everyone says Radhe Radhe. If you are Brajvasis, I don't think you have a problem. We are not Brajvasis. We are actually insignificant soul with Shudra, Shudra Buddhi and so much agitated mind. we are nowhere pure to those Brajvasis who are born in Brajvasi, because Prabhupada says even the monkeys who are born in Brajvasi, as you know, they are also special souls. They are not ordinary souls. So we have no qualification to say or repeat or imitate what Brajvasis are saying. That is my understanding. If Prabhuji wants to add, Prabhu.
Yeah, bro, this is absolutely right. Since Brajavasis, their mood is different, and our mood is also different from the Brajavasis mood. So that's why if you are born in as a Brajavasi, yes, we can be saying Radhe Radhe. But since we are not, we're not supposed to. I don't know whether this will become because if you look at Brahma Vaivarta Purana, there they says, when we chant Radha's name, Krishna will become very happy. So, but as far as Srila Prabhupada has mentioned, let us stick to what he has mentioned. Let us stick to, because he knows best. He's the best preacher we have ever seen. So if you are following the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, let us follow Srila Prabhupada. If you are following the footsteps of Gopis or Vrindavan Vasis, fine, then we can follow them. Choice is ours.
And then at the end of the day, I believe that the only approach we can do to Radharani is through our Gurudev, through Prabhupada, and through Guru Parampara. So I think we should not jump the race and try to actually follow or approach anybody else directly. So, and that is by Radharani's mercy only we have got Gurudev in our life. So we just follow our Guru Maharaj, what his instructions are, what Prabhupada's instructions are, who is our founder Acharya and the most Shiksha Guru. So we just follow him. I think that's the best way, the safest way we can actually continue our bhakti. And don't speculate or don't actually try to imitate others. This is understanding what you were saying. Also, I also support and I also agree with that. Hare Krishna. I think Rasapurnima is ready. I think. Yeah, ready.
Prabhu, you are in two places.
No, he's in bedroom.
No, she is in the living room.
Okay.
I'm in the living room.
I'm in the office.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. I'm going to sing a bhajan. Radhe Jai Jai Madhav Daite. The author is Rupa Goswami and the language is in Sanskrit. Namo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhata Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devai Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheshanmati Paschatarisharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Madhavadai Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhavadai Gokula Taruni Mandalamaite Gokula Taruni Mandalamaite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhavadai राधे जय जय माधव वरदन वेशे दामोदर राधे वरदन वेशे हरि निष्कुट वृंदा विपिनेशे हरि निष्कुट वृंदा विपिनेशे राधे जय जय माधव गायते राधे जय जय माधव गायते वृषभानुदादि नव शशिलेखे वृषभानुदादि नव शशिलेखे ललिता सखी गुण रमिता विशाखी ललिता सखी गुण रमिता विशाखी राधे जय जय माधव गायते राधे जय जय माधव गायते गोकुलारुणी मंडल मायते गोकुल तारुणी मंडल मायते राधे जय जय माधव गायते राधे जय जय माधव गायते करुणामनम कुरु मयि करुणा भरिते करुणां कुरु मयि करुणा भरिते सनक सनातन वरनित चरिते सनक सनातन वरनित चरिते करुणां कुरु मयि करुणा भरिते करुणां कुरु मयि करुणा भरिते सनक सनातन वरनित चरिते सनक सनातन वर्णित चरिते राधे जय जय माधव गायते राधे जय जय माधव गायते गोकुल तारुणी मंडल मायते गोकुल तारुणी मंडल मायते राधे जय जय माधव गायते राधे जय जय माधव गायते हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राधे जय जय माधव गायते राधे जय जय माधव गायते हरे कृष्ण I would like to request any one of you to read the translation if possible.
Prabhu, allow them to unmute, Prabhu.
No, I think it's
Don't
allowed.
unmute.
It's allowed.
Radha Rasi, can you read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you hear?
Yes.
Okay. O Radha, O beloved of Madhava, O you who are worshipped by all the young girls of Gokula, all glories unto you, all glories unto you.
Continue.
स्क्रीन शेयरिंग बंद हो गया है। आप क्या शेयर कर सकते हैं क्या स्क्रीन?
You who are dressed yourself in such a way as to increase Lord Damodar's love and attachment for you, O Queen of Vrindavan, which is the pleasure grove of Lord Hari. O new moon that have arisen from the ocean of King Rishabhanu, O friend of Lalita, O you who make Vishaka loyal to you due to your wonderful qualities of friendliness, kindness, and faithfulness to Krishna. O you who are filled with compassion, O you whose divine characteristics are described by the great sages Sanaka and Sanatana, O Radha, please be merciful to me.
Okay. Rupa Goswami ki jai. Radharani ki jai. Thank you, Rasika. Yesterday you were also looking beautiful as Radharani in the drama. Very nice drama. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So Deva, you want to end? How is it?
Prabhuji, now Narasimha Prabhuji. So, anybody wants
Who's
to?
singing?
Shyma?
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
श्री नरसिम्हा भगवान की जय। भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलादलाददायिने हिरण्यकशिपुर्वक्षः श्रीलताङ्कानखालाय इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यत यत यामि ततो नरसिंहा दहे नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहा मदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव कर कमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुत शृङ्गाम् दालिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं जयन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं नित्यं नमाम्यहं जय नरसिंह श्री नरसिंह जय जय श्री नरसिंह जय प्रहलादेश जय पद्ममुखा जय पद्मवृंगम श्री नरसिंह भगवान की जय। भक्तलाल महाराज की जय। प्रभुपाद की जय। गुरुदेव महाराज की जय।